Okay, so we're diving into AI in education today. You sent over a ton of stuff, articles, research, even some personal notes. Looks like you're fascinated by how AI is going to impact the way we learn and teach.
It really is fascinating. You know, it's interesting. AI in education. It's not some futuristic fantasy anymore. It's
Yeah.
already happening and changing things fast.
Yeah, for sure. One article from June 2024, I think it was, said searches for AI in education have jumped like 20 times in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
People are definitely paying attention. I noticed a lot of the sources mentioned this idea of personalized learning.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's where AI is really making waves. Imagine a system that adapts to you to how you learn best and what you need to know. It's like having a personal tutor around the clock, actually. Some companies like Scroll AI are already building this kind of tech.
That sounds incredible. But I also saw some concerns about AI, taking over the jobs of teachers.
It's understandable to worry about that. But AI is much more likely to become a tool for teachers than a replacement. Think of it like a really advanced teaching assistant. AI can handle things like grading and creating lesson plans and even analyzing all that student data. That frees up teachers to do what they do best: inspire and mentor and connect with their students.
Makes sense. One source, App Inventive, I think, talked about how AI is being used to create smart content and automate tasks. It could be a total game changer for teachers.
Absolutely. It can even create those really immersive learning environments like virtual labs and simulations. Imagine a med student practicing surgery virtually before ever stepping into an operating room.
Wow, that's wild. So we have AI tutors, AI assistants, AI-powered content. What else is coming down the line for AI in education?
A lot of sources talked about these adaptive learning systems and personalized pathways. It's all about AI platforms that adjust to each student's learning speed and style.
Okay, so adaptive learning is about personalizing the how you learn, and personalized pathways are about personalizing what you learn.
Exactly. Adaptive systems can figure out where a student is struggling and give extra help or adjust the difficulty level. And those personalized pathways are like custom learning journeys built around a student's interests and goals.
That's helpful. I also saw something about using AI to create custom GPTs for education. What's a GPT exactly?
A GPT, or a generative pre-trained transformer, is a type of AI that can understand and generate text that sounds like a human wrote it. Imagine a really advanced chatbot. Teachers are starting to use custom GPTs to create totally unique learning experiences. So a GPT could be used to design a project that combines, say, culinary arts and music production tailored to specific learning goals.
That's mind-blowing. AI is opening up so many possibilities for how we learn and what we learn. But I have to ask, are there any downsides to all this?
Well, there are always challenges when you introduce new technology. One big one is the cost of these AI systems.
Right.
Not every school has the budget to invest in cutting-edge tech.
That's a good point. If we want AI to benefit all students, and not just those in well-funded schools, we need to make sure these tools are accessible to everyone. We need to be really aware of potential inequality and make sure everyone has the opportunity to learn and grow in this new AI-powered landscape.
I agree completely. And that's where having the right policies and funding models in place is so important. It's not enough to just have the technology. We have to ensure that it's accessible and beneficial for everyone.
So it sounds like there's a lot to think about when we talk about the future of AI in education. Huge potential for personalized learning and creating more engaging learning environments. But we also have to tackle challenges like accessibility and equity.
Exactly. The conversation about AI and education is really just beginning. It's a really exciting time to be thinking about how AI can help us completely rethink how we learn and teach.
This has been really eye-opening so far. We've touched on some of the key ways AI is already being used in education, from personalized learning platforms to AI-powered teaching assistants. But I'm curious about the bigger picture. What does all of this mean for higher education? Is college even going to be necessary in a world where AI can personalize learning and give us access to so much knowledge?
That's a fantastic question, and honestly a question that's being hotly debated right now. Some experts believe that AI is going to lead to a more decentralized and personalized approach to higher education, where students can create their own learning journeys based on their own goals. But there are also those who argue that the traditional college experience, with its emphasis on social interaction and critical thinking, will always be valuable.
So it's not really about AI making college obsolete, but more about how AI will transform higher education.
Exactly. We're already seeing universities experimenting with AI in different ways, from personalizing admissions to building AI-powered tutoring systems. And there's a growing realization that AI skills are going to be essential for success in the future job market. No matter what, whether students go to college or not, they will need some level of AI literacy.
AI literacy, that's a term I keep hearing. What does it mean to be AI literate?
It means understanding how AI works, how it impacts us, and what its limitations are. It's about knowing how to use AI tools effectively and being able to look at the information they provide with a critical eye. It's about being prepared for a future where AI is just part of everyday life.
It sounds like AI is making us rethink what it means to be educated. It's not just about memorizing facts anymore. It's about learn how to adapt and how to thrive in a world that's driven by AI.
You got it. The skills that are going to be most valuable in the future are the ones that AI can't easily replicate. Things like critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, and emotional intelligence.
So AI can automate tasks and personalize learning, but it's those human skills that will really set us apart in the future.
Exactly. And that brings us to another really important point, the role of teachers in a world where AI is becoming more and more prevalent.
I'm glad you brought that up. We've talked about how AI can help teachers, but how might it change what it means to be a teacher?
That's a key question. Some people worry that AI is going to make teachers obsolete, but I think it's more likely to fundamentally change the teaching profession. Instead of spending hours grading or making lesson plans, teachers can let AI handle those things and then focus on things like mentoring students, leading discussions, and encouraging creativity. That's where their expertise and their human connection are irreplaceable.
So instead of replacing teachers, AI could free them up to focus on the more human elements of education. It's a much more optimistic outlook.
And I think it's a realistic one. AI can be a powerful tool for teachers, but it can never replace the human connection and empathy that are so important for learning.
It sounds like the best case scenario is one where AI and teachers work together, each doing what they do best. AI can handle the tasks that could be automated while teachers focus on the things that only humans can do.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance. We have to embrace AI's potential, but also acknowledge its limitations. AI should always enhance the learning experience, not dehumanize it.
I like that. This deep dive has been really insightful. We've covered a lot of ground from personalized learning to the role of teachers in an AI-driven world. But there's still so much more to uncover.
Absolutely. We've only scratched the surface of this incredibly fascinating and constantly evolving field. There's so much more to learn and discuss about the future of AI in education.
I completely agree. So to wrap up this first part of our deep dive, I think we can confidently say that AI is ready to completely revolutionize education in so many ways. From personalized learning platforms to AI-powered teaching assistants, the possibilities seem endless. But we have to remember, AI is a tool, and just like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
That's crucial. It's up to us to make sure that AI is used ethically and responsibly to create a more equitable and empowering educational landscape for every learner. Welcome back. As we were talking about all these exciting possibilities in AI-powered education, something occurred to me. We've talked about the big picture, but I think it would be helpful to look at some specific examples of AI in action. What were some of the examples that stood out to you in the research?
Yeah, getting into the nitty-gritty would be really interesting. One that I thought was really cool was Dreambox Learning. It's that math learning platform that uses AI, right?
Yes, Dreambox is a great example of how AI can personalize learning. It's designed for K-8 math, and what's really neat is that it's not just about getting the right answer. It actually analyzes how students are thinking and gives feedback to help them understand the concepts at a deeper level.
So it's not just about memorizing multiplication tables. It's about actually learning how to think mathematically.
Precisely. And it's been incredibly successful. Dreambox is used by millions of students all over the world, which really shows the growing demand for this type of AI-powered learning.
That's impressive. So we've got Dreambox for math. Are there similar AI tools for other subjects like language learning or writing?
Absolutely. Duolingo, the language learning app, uses AI to personalize lessons and give feedback on pronunciation and grammar. And there are also AI-powered writing assistants that can help students with grammar style, even organization.
Oh, like Grammarly.
Exactly. Grammarly is a great example. These tools can be so helpful for students who are still developing their writing skills.
It seems like AI can be a virtual tutor, a personalized coach, and even a tireless grader all rolled into one. But I keep thinking about the role of the teacher. If AI is taking on so much, what happens to educators?
That's a question a lot of people are asking, and it's a really important one. I don't think AI will make teachers less important. In fact, I think it might make their role even more crucial.
So instead of replacing teachers, AI will change what it means to be a teacher.
Exactly. Think about it as a shift from delivering information to guiding and mentoring students. Teachers can use AI to handle those more routine tasks like grading and lesson planning, and then they can focus on things like building relationships, facilitating discussions, and encouraging creativity. That's where their expertise and human touch are truly irreplaceable.
It's like moving from the what of teaching to the how and why. That's pretty exciting, but it also probably requires a big shift in thinking for both teachers and students.
It definitely does. There's going to be a learning curve for everyone. Teachers will need to develop new skills in areas like data analysis and understanding how to integrate AI into their classrooms. And students will need to learn how to use these AI tools effectively and how to think critically about the information they get.
Speaking of learning curves, one of the sources, the pros and cons of AI in education, talked about the cost of all of this. Not every school has the resources to buy all the latest AI tools.
That's a really important point. There's a real danger that AI could widen the gap between well-funded schools and those that have fewer resources. We have to find ways to make AI education accessible to all students, no matter their background.
It sounds like we need thoughtful policies and funding models to make sure that everyone benefits from AI. It's not enough to just have the technology. We need equitable access.
I completely agree. And that means having open and honest conversations about things like digital equity teacher training and how to develop AI responsibly. AI should be used ethically and inclusively to create a better learning experience for every single student.
Okay, so we've talked about AI's potential in K-12 education. What about higher education? Will college even be necessary in a world where AI can personalize learning and give us access to so much information?
That's a really big question, and there's no easy answer. Some experts think that AI will lead to a more personalized and flexible approach to higher education, where students can basically create their own learning paths based on what they're interested in and what their goals are. But there are also experts who believe that the traditional college experience will always have value, particularly for those social connections and the development of critical thinking skills.
So it's not necessarily a case of AI making college obsolete. It's more about how AI might transform higher education.
Exactly. We're already seeing universities using AI for things like personalized admissions and developing AI-powered tutoring systems. And there's a growing awareness that AI skills are going to be essential for success in the future job market, regardless of whether students go to college or not. They're going to need some understanding of AI and how to use it.
It's really fascinating to think about how AI could reshape education at every level. We've covered a lot in this deep dive, but I'm wondering about the real-world implications of all this. How will AI change the job market, and what skills will students need to succeed in the future?
That's a huge topic, one that we could probably devote a whole separate deep dive to. But in short, AI is already changing the workforce in a big way. Jobs are being automated, new jobs are being created, and existing jobs are requiring new skills. Adaptability, creativity, and the ability to work effectively with AI tools, those are going to be the key skills that set students apart in the job market.
So it's less about competing with AI and more about learning to work with it.
Exactly. We're moving toward a future where humans and AI will be working side by side in just about every field. The sooner we start preparing students for that reality, the better.
It really feels like AI isn't just changing education, it's changing the world as we know it.
Yeah.
This deep dive has been really eye-opening. We've talked about the potential of AI in education, the challenges that come with it, and how AI might change higher education and even the job market itself.
It's been a great conversation, but there's still so much more to talk about. In the final part of our deep dive, we'll be discussing the ethical implications of AI in education, some of the potential downsides, and what we can do to make sure AI is used responsibly to create a better future for learning.
So we've talked about all the amazing potential of AI in education, personalized learning, AI assistance, but like with any new technology, we have to look at the potential downsides too, right?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things we need to focus on is making sure AI is used ethically and responsibly in education. We need to be aware of the challenges and concerns and make sure that AI benefits everyone.
One of the things that jumped out at me from the research was the cost of implementing AI in education. It seems like there's a real risk that AI could widen the gap between schools that have a lot of resources and those that don't.
You're right. Access to technology has always been an issue in education, and we need to make sure that all students have access to AI tools and resources, not just those in wealthy schools or districts. If we don't, we risk making existing inequalities even worse.
I agree. We have to be proactive about addressing these equity issues and ensure that AI is used to create a more level playing field for all students.
Another thing to consider is how AI might be used in ways that undermine the role of teachers. It's important to remember that AI is just a tool. Teachers are still the heart of education, and we need to make sure that AI is used to support them, not replace them.
That's a really important point. We've talked about how AI can help teachers with things like grading and lesson planning, but in the end, it's the teachers who create the learning environment and build relationships with students and inspire a love of learning. We don't want AI to take away from that.
I agree completely. Teachers bring so much more to the classroom than just content. They're mentors and guides and role models. AI can't replicate that human connection and the empathy that are so crucial to learning.
So it's about finding that balance between using AI effectively and making sure that teachers remain at the center of education. It seems like AI has incredible potential, but we need to be thoughtful about how we use it.
That's a great way to put it. AI isn't a magic solution. It's a tool, and like any tool, it can be used in good ways and bad ways. We need to be aware of the potential risks and work to ensure that AI makes education more equitable, more engaging, and more empowering for all students.
This has been such a fascinating conversation. We've learned so much about the future of AI in education, from personalized learning to the role of teachers. It's clear that AI is going to have a huge impact on how we learn and teach in the years to come.
It certainly will. The future of education is full of incredible possibilities. And for those of you who want to keep learning more about AI and its potential, I encourage you to subscribe to the Before AGI podcast. We'll continue to explore these topics and so much more in future episodes. And don't forget to check out my YouTube channel, Ian Ochieng AI, for tutorials and insights that will help you stay ahead of the curve. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI-powered education. Until next time, keep learning.